Joshua's nowhere near where he
What is it?
Hey!
Hello.
We're all watching this. Is that always us?
I always do that. I'm always dancing to that, thinking that's me live, but it isn't.
Oh, there we go. Well, look at this. We're back together again. The band's back together.
This time in Baz's house. I've never
Yeah.
the first time in Baz's
I know
house.
it is. This is
Beautiful.
Shay Baz, and we decided that we did it 2 weeks ago in the same room, and the picture quality, because we booked an Airbnb. The Wi-Fi signal was terrible. It was a really good podcast, but the picture quality was terrible. So we decided to meet up again, and we'll do it again.
Let's do it again.
Let's just do it again.
Well, in part, it's because of tomorrow as well, isn't it? So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, so hello, welcome to the podcast. If you haven't been before, this is the Lock-In podcast. Usually me and Baz, but I think Joshua, this is your third time.
Third
Quite
time.
So you've
Yeah,
officially,
quite often now.
he's officially elevated from guest to co-host for the evening.
Does he get the
Like a match ball.
That's what it. Well, you've been on that show.
Yeah, because he's scored a hat trick of appearances. Well, if we were at my house, then maybe, but we're at your house.
This is the away game.
So, do you have a ball for him?
I do have a ball, but it's very small.
So no, he's not having it. Hello, Jimmy B. Hello, hello, Jess. And
just so it's worth noting that Jimmy B is only 16, 17 miles away in Milton Keynes. Hi.
So Jimmy B, if you open your windows, you probably hear us at some point. In fact, I drove through Milton Keynes, I think.
We drove past Junction 14.
I drove through a bit of it anyway. To pick Joshua up from the station. So yes, we are live from the same room. If you've not seen this is the Lock-In podcast. Like I say, usually me and Baz. And the whole premise of this is that it's just me and Baz sitting in a virtual pub, having a few drinks, having a chat. The reason we are on Twitch and YouTube is because we are more familiar with TikTok. Well, there's too many rules over there for this kind of thing. So we just want to relax, have a few beers. Baz can have a cigarette without hiding it. And we could just chat like we're in a pub. Because we're grown-ups here and we've ticked a button that says mature content. Yeah. So we can say bum and arse.
Yes.
And
well, if I could say that, I might say a lot then. Yes.
And cock. We're not going to spend the next hour and a half just saying swear words that we know. But hello, if you want to contribute, if you've got any questions for us throughout the show, any questions or comments, find them in the comment section. If you are watching on Twitch and you don't see some comments that we are referring to, or you are watching on YouTube and you don't see some of the comments referring to, that's because we can see the comments from YouTube and Twitch in the same place.
Wow, so clever.
If we're yes, and if you give us a good question, we'll actually bring your question on screen and we'll have a chat about it. So the whole thing is you're welcome to join us. You're welcome to join in by asking us questions or anything like that. So if you've got any questions, give us a shout. But the first question we always ask each other on the show is, Baz, what are you drinking?
So this is slightly in honour of...
Well, the Baz is double parked already. Yes. This is early doors.
I've got to get up about 4:30 in the morning. So
he's drinking 2 drinks at once.
Yeah.
So
what I thought I'd do
now, speed up the process.
If I get drunk really quickly, I can go to bed. Then I'm done.
Okay.
So
you're gonna wait until the end of the show before you go to bed.
I might just sleep on the table. No. So anyway, I've got my usual run, but I'm staying at Jerry's this week, and Liz, my wife, asked what people would drink, so she got Stella, and Mike bought Stella as well. So we're all Stella up this evening.
Looking out, we've got bottles and cans. There we go. We're all on Stella tonight. So anything could happen.
But I think I'm going to be barman tonight. So when we run dry, the kitchen's this way, so I'll be nipping off to replenish at some point. So.
And this is really weird because if you follow Baz on TikTok, as I do. He is my _petrol _ and every bit of his house is recognisable to both of us who just come here for the first time.
It's worth noting that we've just had the whole thing decorated, so the colour scheme is very different to what it was last time you would have seen it.
But it's literally like it's like walking in my own home because I know exactly. I've seen everything before. I didn't know which bit led to which. So that once I've got that in my head, then
I said to you, "Is that Baz's roof?" And you're like, "That's definitely Baz's roof."
That's his roof. That's how we knew. That's how we knew which house it was, because we came past and we're like, "I've seen Baz walking along that roof. That must be his house."
Oh God, I have done as well.
Yeah, you did the transition from the garden onto the roof.
Yeah,
and then we walked into the garden where Baz jumps up and down and spins around and does lots of magical things. What we didn't know though is that it's kind of split level, so that's raised where that is. So what I didn't realise is that, Baz, when you're doing your jumping up and down and spinning around in circles, everyone in the street can see you jumping up and down.
There's loads of windows overlook our garden. Yeah. No one's actually said anything so far about it. Although when I was on the roof doing a video ages ago, it was a dance. It's a very rare dancing video. Dancing's probably overplaying a lot, but my neighbours were in their conservatory next door, and they just literally shouted, "What the fuck are you doing on the roof?" I'm doing a TikTok video.
It's a valid question.
It was good though because they both followed me after that, so it's a way of getting more followers.
It is a valid question, but yeah, I'm surprised that nobody's called the local authorities and said that this old bloke next door's. I think he's having a turn or something. I just keep seeing him popping up above the fence.
In fairness, the neighbours this side who were very nice moved, so I'm not saying it's anything to do with the feature.
Well, maybe it is.
Like an idiot.
Maybe it is. But when they sold the house, did they advertise it as next door to My Petrol Emotion?
I think they probably kept that out of all of the sale bumps.
I think it should up the cost of the place.
I think so.
Yeah, actually, the guys that moved in now are really nice as well. So they're a young family, and they both follow me on TikTok as well. Strangely enough,
I get people really staring me down when I'm outside. If I occasionally I do the one, especially I used to do the ones in the street as much as I could, and that was mostly because of lockdown. Just kind of, but the amount of people who used to really be like, "What is that guy? What is that guy doing?" And I had one person lean out of a window and be like, "Oi! What are you doing now? What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just making a little like video, just like some jokes and things or something." And then he was like, "Oh, what for Instagram?" I was like, "No, TikTok." He went, "Oh, slow." And he slammed it again.
So are you quite fearless when you film in public?
Yeah, I've always been quite fearless about stuff, but I don't know why. I just think I don't have as much of an embarrassment filter as the majority of people. I think.
Yes.
I'm up for it. It's worth it because once the video goes out, and go, "Well, there you go."
Yeah.
That was why it had to look like that. That's why I had to fall flat on my face in that specific stupid.
I'm pretty sure we'll be the only two TikTokers filming at the Royal Windsor Horse Show.
I don't know.
Charlie's there.
People are everywhere, aren't they? I don't know if you'll be the only influencers there. I'm sure there'll be people.
Don't let my daughter hear you calling me that.
Oh, sorry, Molly, if you're watching.
We are influencers, all of us.
But no. The thing is, the terms become people with followings are influencers now.
I had to put it on my tax report.
Yeah.
I felt really weird.
Wow.
Actually.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Like it or not, you've influenced quite a few people.
I would probably be more likely to feel my occupation as blackguard or scoundrel, so that I can make my own job title up. I haven't got a boss.
So how do you describe your online presence then? Are you just
irritant?
Okay.
An irritant.
That's not
a health warning.
I can do that, can't I?
That isn't a common.
I'm going to call my job title whatever makes my car insurance the cheapest.
Okay.
Because it's up to me what I call myself. So
slow, good driver.
So I don't know. I was just like, none. I don't get away with that one, to be fair.
Although I expect they probably have more accidents than anybody.
Well, are you thinking of like Robbie Coltrane?
Yeah.
I don't think he was a real one. Right. So let's say hello to a few people. So we've got Jess, we've got Sparkles, we've got Jill, we've got Rosie, we've got Adam, we've got Rob, and I'm saving him for last. We've got Mr. Martin. So, since Martin's in the house, should we talk about last night?
Well,
it'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? Look, we're a topical podcast. Something remarkable happened last night.
Well, I didn't watch it, so you two can tell me what did happen last night, because I was on the road last night.
Well, some football happened.
I watched it.
We're not going to talk about it for too long because we don't want Martin to leave.
Gillian didn't last week when we were slagging the Scots.
No, but yeah, that's another reason for wanting England to progress. It irritates the Scots and the Welsh even more.
Anybody from Ukraine on here? Just before we get stuck into it.
So we'll bring that next week. So if anyone's from the Ukraine, we'll maybe chat to you next week. Actually, speaking of which, next week isn't going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Because whether we're in it or not, it's the semi-final. So yes, sorry. Did Rob's explained in the chat section there? We were being too vague about what happened last night.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there was a point to that, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a point to that last night. Yeah, England played in the Euros for the first time since 1966. Yes, Jill, I have mentioned 1966. Yes, for the first time since 1966, England beat Germany in a tournament. And sent them home. So France have gone home, Netherlands have gone home, Portugal have gone home, and Germany have gone home. Am I missing any big ones there?
No. Who's?
I mean, Scotland have gone home.
Oh yeah,
they're not big.
And Wales have gone home.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we predicted the scores last time, I was adamant that Wales would get beaten by.
You were adamant.
Yes, I was at one point. Yes, charming.
But you've borrowed his shirt.
Yeah,
anyway.
I just had that white line across my eye. No, yeah, we did predictions and we were woefully wrong with who was going out. Netherlands, they're another one that went out.
Yeah, I know.
Who are we playing next?
Got us all wrong.
Ukraine, we're playing.
Oh yeah.
Martin said that last week. He said it was going to be an easy win for England. He didn't believe me. It wasn't easy, but it was a win. I'll take that.
Well, the last few minutes were easy.
If anyone's wondering why this thing here isn't in the middle where it should be. I know that. And I've not done one of my deliberately trying to irritate people things. It's just because it looked like it was coming out of my head. So I moved it to the edge of it's off center, simply so it doesn't look like it's growing out of my head.
Oh, well done. You moved it. I like it.
Yeah. I was thinking, I swear it was a bit of a
it wasn't.
So, of the three of us here, there's one professional person.
Well done.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
We were in the garden just playing. I was pretending to do one of Baz's TikToks.
Yeah, exactly. When I started the intro video for the podcast, 2/3 of the people on the podcast were jumping up and down in Baz's garden. That's the kind of professionalism levels that we've got.
And you watched the football from a very traditional place, didn't you?
I went to Wetherspoons, and I went there early. I went like a few hours early, thinking I better get a good spot here. Really weirdly, even though there was a good atmosphere, it just wasn't packed at all. Like, not what I'm used to. Every couple of years these things happening, and I like to just like wedge in just as it begins and find some strange spot, and then I really get into that masculinity that I'm not usually so involved in. And then
because like you don't. We spoke about this before, but you're not traditionally a sort of football supporter.
Oh no, mostly I couldn't care less. Yeah. And I know that offends both of you. I'm very sorry to hurt you.
No, it doesn't affect.
That's fine with club football, yeah.
But when it comes to especially now, I mean, especially at this point, because you can leave, you know that the end of the game is not going to be a draw, and if it extends, like great, we've got half an hour, and even that you're like, well, I'm going to get this result. I'm going to have this moment. So it's never quite just as disappointing. So I think every couple of years I get this build-up process, and I get this feeling now. I'm like, yeah, all right, let's do this. Let's just do this. But then as long as it doesn't, every year there is a painful moment, and I don't think it's going to happen. I don't want it. It's not going to happen.
Well, of course, the other thing is there's a connection with TikTok for the Euros.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, it's just legitimised everything that we do.
Legitimised our life.
That's it. It's like all my mates are going like, oh.
Yeah,
that advert on the side of the pitch, that's that thing you piss about on, isn't it? Yeah. Don't download it though, please. Tell everyone else too, but don't you download it. I don't want my mates on it.
So, well, I'd like to ask everyone what they thought of the game. As we're going to sort of finish that and get on to the next thing.
Good stuff. There you go. And, Southgate finally made up for missing that penalty, is what Adam says.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, it was. I thought the game was good. It's really funny how different people could see the same thing. I watched it around my brother's house, and there was a guy sat just to my right who was not you. Then it was, and he was just like, half time came. He was like, "Oh my god, that was awful."
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, "It really wasn't. We've just played better than Germany, and we need to play better than Germany to beat them." So I thought first 10-15 minutes Germany were decent, and then we were in total control from then on. So. But yeah, anyway, going back to this, I never had you as a patron of spoons. You've surprised me.
Oh,
we have become good mates, and I'm getting to know you more and more as I never would have had you down as a spoons man.
As with all of it, I have such a sweet little image that I mostly have. But I love a spoons. Me and spoons go way back. I've been breaking into spoons since I shouldn't be going to spoons. I adore spoons. I don't know what it is. I actually just quite like. And it's not because I think of myself as non-riffraff, but I like to become riffraff for just a few hours. I like to become something else.
Like a social experiment.
Yes. Yeah, and I just fit in a bit easier. I was like, I like it. I don't like mid-ground stuff. I either like it to be posh or like it to be really a bit like someone's probably was sick there.
Do you bring out the roadman? Does the roadman voice come out?
As I told you before, yes, I do occasionally get a little bit more London-y than I should do, especially once I'm, arguing in a smoking area or whatever.
There you go.
I'm pretty good at that too, so don't start anything with me. So can I have one of these?
Yeah, sure.
So I just steal Stella.
There you go.
I just want to come.
That's why he goes to spoons.
So, actually, I wanted to ask you a question as well, because after the last time we did the podcast and then you went home, you did a live from that very wet outdoor bar.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know if you saw any of it, but it was absolutely fucking chucking it down in the rain.
Insane. Yeah. So I left you, and I went basically straight back into London, and I just didn't even feel. I was just like, well, I don't know. It's actually quite an interesting day. I thought, well, I'll go and see something else is going on, try and find some kind of event or something. And down by the South Bank, usually in the summer they do the Udderbelly or a big kind of festival. This is where it's sponsored by Record League and everyone drinks in this place. And they've kind of tried to put one together just in time for kind of when it can all open up again.
Part undercover, part outdoors.
It's part undercover, part outdoor, but it's just next to London Eye. So you've got this really cool environment, and JBL, the speaker company, plays music kind of permanently. And what I did is I thought, well, I'll take one of my I'll have my little shut the box game or something and sit in the rain, and then just went bang, and I like literally torrential, really is in like it came a point where I loved the rain. I had to really cave in, and they were letting us kind of basically just come in. You have to come in.
Yeah, because you were supposed to stay at your table, weren't you?
You were supposed to stay on your table, and they were like, just come in because it's more day. Like this is just, and then there were people pushing past me trying to sweep water away like crazy.
Wow.
It was like a big mission that they were on.
Well, you bring up that question about filming in public, because at some point you stood on a wall just to do a complete sort of panoramic view of the whole sort of
crazy,
rain-sodden pub.
Yeah, but it's like things like that. For example, I was literally standing on a wall with hundreds of people could have seen me if they turned up, and I just don't really care. Yeah. In fact, also during that live, there were 2 people next to me being like, "It's on my TikTok or something." they were talking about me, and then I was talking about them, being like, "There's 2 people here talking about me," and they were going, "I think he's talking about us," and I was like, "I am talking about you," without having to direct to them. It's really strange, but I'm okay with it. I think that once it's about a job and enjoying TikTok, I go, "Well, whatever I can do, I want."
Showman, that's what it is.
What do you like filming? Well, we're going to find out tomorrow. But have you done many things in public?
Yeah. Well,
not that there's been much public. To be fair,
no, I've done public speaking. I've presented on stage.
Oh no, sorry, I meant actually like.
You mean that? I thought you meant
the golf course was.
No, I thought you meant with that when he was because he was saying that he's because he's a showman and he's done on stage thing. But no, yeah. Do you know what? I find it quite easy just because. If you're walking along on a live, you look like you're walking along FaceTiming. So it's much easier these days, than it was before.
My stuff's a bit different.
yeah, exactly. Like say, you know, people walking past the street. Excuse me. So, the fence of Baz's garden that he's always jumping up and down in is literally onto the road. So. And we've covered that Baz isn't the tallest of gentlemen, but he was able to look over the fence when we got here.
But I'm standing on that chair, though. In fairness.
Okay. But you jumped that high anyway, so your head must have been popping up as people are walking the dogs the other side of the fence.
Oh yeah, well, like I said, there's windows surrounding as well. Yeah. But they're definitely. I am aware that people can see me, but then it's your garden, isn't it?
But have you seen? There's a TikTok account that shows video of people. Like influences in the natural habitat of the world or something. Yeah. Mate, you need to get on that. I'll film it if you need to.
There's
what's that? Is that like film people filming?
So you'll see. So it'll be somebody will have taken a video of someone who's brought like a ring light and all this kind of stuff down to the beach.
Okay.
And they're just basically saying, "What an idiot for doing this."
Okay. The thing is, I do look like an idiot a great deal of the time, and I'm absolutely aware of that. But let's just get over it now.
Well, when we were last on holiday with the lads, we went to a Nicky Beach, and we obviously had those cabanas there. And across the other side of the pool was a girl filming her friend, and she was doing all the sort of provocative stuff. And then they wandered off, and then I went and found that instantly after they posted it and thought they don't look anything like those 2 people. So it's all angles, it's all moves and stuff like that.
They watch videos about angles and then they make that video with that angle and they go, look how
so if you've ever been on Influence in the Wild, basically if you ever get 3 girls twerking on the beach or whatever the dance is now, someone will be filming them and then there'll be some sort of sad boyfriend lying down in the surf trying to get the best angle. So that's what it is.
I actually try and walk behind. So say you see like, you're in like there's 3 teenage girls doing a dance, like they're clearly doing a TikTok dance. They're clearly on TikTok. I try and walk behind them in the hope that one day I will steal that video completely and be like, it's all about Joshua Q, just going to go back now. And now.
So once again, although I go around Chico all the time, one of the other stories that I haven't told.
How many minutes in?
No.
How many minutes in?
So 20. Sticking in 20.
He's going to have to sponsor this at some point. So we went to New York. We did for the first time the helicopter trip around New York, and we were sat in that. Have you ever done one?
Yeah.
So you go in the room, you sit down on the benches, and you wait for your flight to go out. And in walks Joe Wicks.
All right.
I didn't know who he was at the time. You know, he's
I know. Yeah.
So Liz went, "Oh, there's Joe Wicks." And I was like, "Who's that?" "Oh, he's this guy," because I'd never heard of him. He was still in his infancy. And
he was a child.
He was a child at that point.
He was only 4. No one didn't know who he was.
I mean, his career, obviously, but he'd already had his first book out, and I obviously wasn't aware of him. And then, so Liz went, "Oh yeah, it's definitely him," because I saw on Instagram this morning that he was posting from New York,
right.
And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And then I said, "Wouldn't it be funny if he got on our flight?" He he was on ours because he just walked in ages after us. And lo and behold, he gets on the same helicopter. So there's 6 people, 4 of us in the back, and then him and his brother get in the front. And what was really funny about it is when he posted his Instagram on the phone, Liz's head is literally on his left shoulder. So on his Instagram, loads of people, like friends of Liz, were going, "Is that you in the background with Joe Ricks?" Yeah. We went for a helicopter.
We go way back.
But what was really funny, I said to Liz, "Do you want to sort of say something?" She went, "No, I'm not like that." So I had no idea who he was. I went, "Hey, excuse me. We just wanted to say how much we love your book and your content." And he probably looked at me and Liz went, "Well, clearly you're not heeding this." But when we chatted as we went into the terminal, and he was being nice, and he's very pro. And there was a really awkward moment before I ever did any of this sort of stuff where he looked like he was about to get ready to say, "Yes, you can," in terms of can we get a selfie, because he kind of manoeuvred himself. And of course we went, "Oh, lovely to meet you," and just wandered off. And I was only really aware of that when I was afterwards. Went, "Oh shit, we should have asked him for a selfie." Because he literally sort of like moved in himself, because you must get it all the time.
Yeah, there's nothing like the embarrassment of a celebrity though. For a celebrity who's like, "Oh, I didn't realise that's not what you..." Or when when the celebrity's asked to take a photo and then you give them the phone.
Yeah.
Like that moment.
But I liked the thing though that he would readily had a selfie, but we were just not in that stage of our sort of, how we see people online. Today, it would literally just gone up, "Oi, you have a selfie with us?" Or been in the background like this with the phone over his shoulder. So yeah, I think how things change in this short space of time.
Absolutely.
There you go. Right, guys. So, have you got any questions for us?
I think Michael's a solid question he can put up on the screen.
Yeah, exactly. I want a solid question.
Hello,
a solid question that can get up on the screen and we can all answer it. The 3 of us and you guys as well. Hello, Mickey. Hello, Si. So yeah, we want what question do you want us to answer? So the 3 of us will answer it, but all you guys can answer it, and we will comment and discuss the question and your answers to it as well.
Absolutely, I'm up for anything.
But in the meantime, it's very weird for me to have you 2 in my home.
It's nice. Thank you very much for having us.
It's obviously much easier now. I've met both of you before. But
it is as well. I said that to because we were expecting you to still be at work, so I said that when I picked Joshua up from the station. I just think if you break this down, it's like I live in Ireland, but I'm going to a train station in southern England to pick up somebody that I met off the internet, to go to another person's house that I met off the internet, who's not going to be in, so we're going to go in and sit and have a coffee with his wife.
Yeah. Fortunately,
it's just that's how we live our lives.
I kind of bigged up the podcast to my boss. Who's in charge there. I said, "Oh, there's like thousands of people that watch it." He's, "Oh yeah, well, you must go then."
Yeah,
there's
a celebrity coming. Rob's saying he thought Lee Mackay was going to be on. Gregor is going to be on in 2 weeks' time.
It would have been difficult, the 3 of us.
It would have been difficult, yeah, because if there was us here and then Gregor on a different screen, we were going to have him on with us, but then we decided we will leave it until it just visually it works better if we've got a guest on. When we're all not in one screen together. Baz's house is renamed as Tocker's Tavern.
Yeah, there you go.
I like that, though.
There you go. That is good.
I like that.
It is good, isn't it?
There. It's nice.
Oh, there we go. Right. What surprised you about meeting each other?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Oh, my thing with you was how young you look in real life compared to...
Yeah, that's a good thing. I'll take that.
Yeah. Because obviously... I went to pick Josh up from the station. I keep calling Joshua.
Either or, that's fine now. Let's give up.
From the station, because we agreed that. And I drove past on the way in and I saw him and I thought, "Oh, that must be Joshua."
That's him off TikTok.
Yeah. But then when I came down and you were stood there and I thought, "Oh, you're much younger than you look on TikTok."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's an interesting one. Well, there you go. Ladies, if you were questioning I was looking a little old, then not to worry.
My first question, Mike, was how incredibly tall he was.
Yeah, yes, Mike is tall.
And his eyes
are not incredibly tall. I'm 6 foot. It's not, I'm not like
and
6'6".
Your eyes are much bluer in real life than they can.
I'm really jealous of his eyes.
Oh, boy.
You just spend all the time staring into them longingly.
It's beautiful. That is beautiful.
So you have to say something
weirdly,
nice now.
Weirdly, when I first met Baz, I was surprised how tall he was. Because he told me how short he was.
And he told me a height.
Yeah. I was expecting like tattoo off James Bond to get out of the car.
One of my favourite characters.
And you came out and I was like, "Oh, he's disappointingly tall, isn't he?"
I wasn't like
No, but that's it. And and with Joshua is just kind of like, because like I say, I mean, I've followed Joshua since the mug, the mug walking around London days. But my son and my nephew have both been following Joshua for even longer. So when Joshua and I became friends, my son and my nephew were just kind of like, "Oh my God, that's like Joshua cubed." So it was just, it's weird because like I'm getting used to it now, but looking at a face you'd only ever seen on a screen before.
Especially a phone-sized screen, isn't
it? You'd only ever seen on a screen before, and you'd seen, and do you know what? I'd seen him on the screen before, I knew him, and all that. It's just that's the kind of it's good because I mean we get on and we're still mates in real life.
Yes,
it would have been horrible to meet up and go, do you know what? He seems such a nice guy on TikTok. It turns out he's an absolute prick.
But that is actually
but
no,
we haven't had that. We haven't been, well, not yet anyway.
That is something I worried about. I worry about in general with meeting people because we know that there is such an image kind of idea. Whereas actually with both of you, it wasn't actually so much of a surprise. I actually think it was like oh, okay, he's funny and makes jokes and one does not dance. Bang on. And Baz with his style, I thought that possibly would be like a thing that he only does. But I mean, this man is dressed to the nines every second.
No, literally, I was going to come in trackies tonight, literally, because you got dressed.
I had to do what he did. I was like, I can't sit next to him.
There we go. See, we've got like, I'm the only one without the short sleeve shirt and a waistcoat.
Put a circle around this.
Exactly. So tonight, Matthew, I am my own emoji.
So in answer to this question, I will answer it wrong. I will answer it that I was actually less surprised by both of them than I thought I would be. I thought I might find just people who aren't the same. Maybe, I don't know.
I think a lot of it is down to the fact that because it's such a video, it is primarily a video-based app. Like you're used to people talking, how they move, and all those sort of things.
Yeah, I mean, I knew me and you get on because we like before obviously we do the podcast.
FaceTime as well, don't we?
Yeah, we do the podcast all the time. We FaceTime all the time. So yeah, I kind of knew that, and you know, and I was confident that we would get on because obviously you've been on the podcast before we actually met up in real life. So,
but the quiz was first, wasn't it? The quiz was first.
Yes, the quiz was first. And actually going back to that, my son was just like, because I remember following you, and like I say, I followed you from when it was like walking around and telling like really cool things about London, but in a kind of a quirky way and stuff. That's kind of what I got into, and then I realised that like my nephew was really into his Rubik's cubes, so he'd come through from kind of that angle, and my son knew who you were as well. So when I said I followed at some point, I don't know what it was, but at some point you followed me, and you know when it comes up in your thing saying say something to such, I was like, oh God, he's followed me. I was like, do you know what?
I love that.
And I was just like, do you know what? I'm just going to ask him if he'll come on the quiz. So I was like, do you fancy coming on the quiz? And you went, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, he said, yeah.
I'm a guy who missed pubs. I think what you've learned. I was like, pretend to be in a pub for it. Yeah. Absolutely, I'll do that. So I'm competitive. So the quiz idea was.
Yeah, so I asked you if you wanted to come on the quiz, and you said, yeah. And I went and told my son, and my son nearly took the skin off the bottom of his jaw. He was like, what? So yeah, it's all
Mickey's
cool.
asked a good question.
Oh, Mickey's asked a good question, right? I was going to read it before I put it on. Ideally, who do you see yourselves? Sorry.
Yeah.
Goodness, I'm glad the wife's not watching because I read that as who do you see yourself doing in a year's time with your platforms? I just sort of putting massive shoes on to go and shag someone other than my wife. Yeah. Have I misunderstood the question?
No. Yeah.
What do you see yourselves doing in a year's time?
Well, you should start with this one.
Should I?
Yeah, because I started the first one.
There you go.
It's my podcast. Yeah, piss off. You can answer first.
Okay.
I'm in charge.
Just trying to be fair. And also, I didn't have a good answer.
None of that. This is a democracy.
Yeah, but you're already going to come with off the cuff.
This is a dictatorship, not a democracy.
Well, we all have like our dreams.
Oh shit, the wife is in. Oh dear. Uh-oh.
Like, we all have our kind of dreams about or plans what a year is going to be. And I think the last year has been so manic for me. I'm sure possibly with you, like a strange kind of change in life. But I think a year from now, my only plan is actually to basically just to peter on. Peter on. It's more like after that, or hopefully in a year's time, it's been awesome. But I feel like I told you last time, I dream of hosting like The Cube or something like just a show or something. I feel like me necessarily is not all about social media platforms as much as I adore making stuff. So hopefully in a year's time, I would enjoy to have some kind of little segment on the one show, wasn't like a little like thing.
So
what I want is just a little job that I can go sweet off. I love my life. I go and interview these crazy people, whatever.
You're just going to accept any invitation to get on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that's a hope. But realistically, I think in a year's time, I'm just going to keep pushing and hoping that things continue to, because I'm enjoying the journey thus far. I think I've got time to like basically see what happens a little bit for me.
Jimmy B said, "This is democracy. One man, one vote." That man's Mike, and he has.
Yes,
absolutely, absolutely. I very rarely pull rank on this.
Yeah, we haven't got postcodes, me and Joshua.
Thank you very much. Slot on this morning. Yes, even though I'm not a morning person, I would revamp my life so that I go to Spoons after.
Oh, there you go. He's not only sorted out what job he's got to do. He's fitting when he's going to go to Spoons around it.
Oh no, basically, yeah. And Joshua on a VT recorded yesterday at midday. He's on the morning show. He's just in sloshed in Spoons.
I'd like to be a diva so much, but needed so much that they let me record my segments at night, only to air in the morning.
Pre-recorded, the only pre-recorded stuff. But yeah, well, no, for me, I'm just I'm a simple man. I'm just trying to avoid going back to work.
Good decision.
So yeah, so I just want to I want to I'm going to keep doing what I do because I really enjoy it. And right from the start, I've just posted stuff I enjoy doing and what I think is funny, and not what I think is going to get me loads more followers. And I've deliberately avoided stuff that I know would have got me more followers at times, just because I didn't want to go down that route. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, but I want to broaden it out a bit and go into kind of longer format stuff, because I think after a year or 18 months or whatever of being reasonably funny for 15 seconds, I'd like to challenge myself to see if I could be funny for longer than 15
seconds.
About
doing stand-up in general, just as a.
Do you know what? When I was working at Kellogg's, they had for a charity
Sounds
thing.
like start of a joke anyway.
Yeah. When I was working at Kellogg's with an Englishman, an Irishman, and, when I was working at Kellogg's, they did a charity stand-up thing there at the Comedy Store in Manchester. So they rented out the Comedy Store and they nominated a handful of people, or they gave people the opportunity to do stand-up. Just people who worked in the office and stuff. And loads of people said, "You should do it. You should do it." And I had in my head some kind of at least an opening to to what I could have done, but I bottled it. And I just think I love doing what I do. I love doing what I do, but it's just the fear of people not liking what I do and getting that immediate feedback. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was fear at the time.
Events. I've been to bad stuff.
I mean, my first my idea for the show. Bearing in mind, everyone in the audience would have been people you work with. So my idea for opening the show was to go up and say, "I'm really nervous," and I asked my wife what. Some tips, because she does a lot of public speaking, and she said, "Just imagine everyone in the audience naked." So then my next 5 minutes would have been like, "Oh, I never had you down as someone who would have that pierced," and do you know what I mean? And just kind of go through that, and you could kind of work with that. So yeah, I've gone as far as, without saying I was going to do it or even thinking I was going to do it, I've gone so far as to say I think that would work as that's a really good opening and things. I'd almost kind of planned it, but then I just shit it. So
no, I get it. I've been on so many times to do things, because like we all I've always been surrounded by charity events and things within theatre that are doing some kind of raising money or running or whatever, and often they're supported because we're all theatrical by it. They go, "Well, hang on a minute, we can just put on a little event." And the amount of times I've been asked to stand up, and every time I've been like, I just can't do it. I'd rather host, just be the guy in the middle, just goes, "Oh, and next up is a really funny person, that person."
Yeah.
But I would like to try one day. I think.
I've watched.
I think you should as well. I really think you should.
I've watched quite a few interviews with comedians who just say when you first start, like, if you're lucky, you'll get a good gig the first time. But even after many gigs, you can still get one which absolutely bombs. You don't get a single laugh. And there's many comedians who said the first gig they ever did, they didn't get a single laugh. And it's that thing of saying, do you know what, I'm determined to do this. I'm going to come back and do it.
Yeah, see, I'm not determined.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not determined. I'm not ambitious. I'm not driven.
Yeah.
I'm all the things you need to be. I'm not as thick-skinned as you would think I am.
Your wife is watching this. Stop
I know. No, she
knows Mike very well.
She knows.
She knows. Surprise.
That's why I'm sponging off her for the time being without and not going back to work.
Thanks. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So there's a couple of people on saying. So there's a couple of people on saying if you want to be famous, you can buy followers. So Joshua, if you want more than the 1.4 million followers on TikTok that you've already got,
thank you. How much?
Then somebody here's offering you a way to get more than 1.4 million. And Baz, if you want more than the 450,000 or whatever it is you've got, then there's somebody here who can sell you some.
Thanks,
do you know what? We'll just carry on doing what we do, and if people like it, they'll follow us.
Oh, absolutely.
But anyway, thanks for your comments, because the more comments that come through, the more it pushes our stream out to people on Twitch. So thanks.
After our guest last week, Phil was talking so much about it started as a football. Oh no, it was after the chat, wasn't it? So after we,
and that was good that we were in the
no. But Phil's very good. Phil's very good on the whole influencer and the way TikTok works. It's very sort of like. So after that chat we had him afterwards, and you talk about agencies and things like that. I'm looking to just monetize my account and, like I say, not have to go back to work. So some of you may know I've gone back to work recently. So I'm halfway through my second week. My hands are ripped to pieces, and I'm still wearing nail varnish, obviously.
You're used to just pressing a button, are you?
I wish it was as simple as that. So I'm physically back to work now, and the first week was hell because it's going back from nearly 2 years of of hard graft to getting back into it. I do enjoy it, and it's the show I'm working at, which is Windsor. It's a really good event because all the people there are, I'm working in a good team, but I'd much rather not have to do that.
So people are like, the wife and Mickey are both saying, so what do you want to do in a year?
Yeah, so I just want to be able to monetize what I do and carry on making content, really. And the more and more we've spoken about, the more and more we found out recently, you can definitely monetize it with the sort of size following that we have. So I'm just going to go for that, to be honest. I'll do some jobs.
I think it sounds similar to mine, which is just
not dick around.
Get paid enough for cocking about that the wife won't give you stick for not bringing in enough money.
Yeah,
there it
is. In summary, that's my goal.
Get that t-shirt.
It's just speaking of t-shirts, daddancer.co.uk, merchandise available. Keep me from having to go back to work. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a sort of like a merch line soon.
I'll sort that and take a cut. That'll work as well.
I don't really want merch until it's
puzzle. So I'll sort yours as well. Leave it to
you
me.
Can just run that. All Joshua Cube content.
We're all right here.
So Mickey's on TikTok and other platforms.
I'm on the gravy train of these two. I don't need to do it myself.
Yeah, so my Instagram's going well at the moment, so that's where I'm going to be pushing it a bit as well. So it's been good fun.
So if anyone is watching on YouTube, I posted 15 YouTube shorts today. So if you could watch them, that'd be nice.
You hammered it all in one go.
Huh?
Takes a while to put them on, doesn't it?
No, they were all the same.
Oh, okay.
I didn't post the same video 15 times. I know that much isn't a good idea.
You just posted the decking video.
Yeah, exactly.
25 times.
To be fair, though, the decking video, I've only ever I posted it once, obviously, and it went massive. The second time I posted it, a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was, I think that's up to 5 million views now. So
that's crazy.
Pretty much. Look. If you do follow me on TikTok, and you like the content I normally produce, then just please forgive me for reposting that decking video once a month, just so that I earn a bit of money, so I can keep cocking about.
Mate, I am the king of reposts. I've probably reposted more videos than I've made now.
Yours became a thing. Yours became the Sunday can't be asked. I'm going to put this one on, see if that goes big as well. I don't think that's what it was officially called, but that's effectively what it is.
Effectively what it is, yeah, if you put a name to it. So.
But yeah, I've been busy this week, so I've been reposting some older videos. But I'm posting stuff that I first, and I've only ever posted once, and I posted it when I had like 15,000 followers. So there's 180 odd, 190 odd thousand more people who haven't seen it.
This is partly why I've always been obsessed with finding things that I can repeat simply and quickly, right? Because first of all, I enjoy them, especially the games and the things. But the fact is that instead, if I'm a bit busy, I can basically go, well, let's just whip out Shut the Box or something that is. If you don't know, Shut the Box is a game I play. So I whip out a one-player game that I know I can repeat, that Noah does well. So I've been trying to continually find things like that. I can go, when I get busier, bang, 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 and I don't have to actually overwork. Without doing something educational or I don't think too much about it, you know.
That was one of the things that last time we all sat together when you got to Shut the Box out. How good was it playing yourself and throwing the dice?
Yeah, I'm not being funny. In real life,
I'm not being funny. It's such
because we didn't do that online, did we?
No,
we
we didn't afterwards.
I have it.
We haven't told everyone about that.
Me and I were literally like,
2 weeks ago when we were together in the Airbnb after the show, we were like, right. That's done. Can we please shut the box now, please, Joshua? The two of us like kids. Joshua, can we please play? Can it be my turn? I want to play it.
We did that thing as well. Wouldn't have done that.
The 3 and the 7.
What are you doing?
If you haven't seen Shut the Box, is it your sort of most popular live that you do apart from music?
Yeah. Oh no, the music just The Shut the Box. If I do Shut the Box on a live, it 100% is the most popular thing. I can get up to 3,500.
Well,
which is crazy.
So on my birthday, there was over 1,000 people on there.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good one though.
Like
so I haven't had many guests to play this game, but Baz has done it twice, and you're still welcome.
Yay!
Still welcome to play.
Good.
Still welcome to play.
Playing it in real life.
You have to have a birthday. You have to have a birthday though.
I do have a birthday.
I know, but you have to have
one. I have one annually.
Wow.
You have to have it on TikTok. You have to have TikTok.
Well, maybe. So yeah, the breaking news is that the wife's agreed. She says monetize prating about, fine by me. There we go.
Nice.
Whoop whoop. What she hasn't told you is that anything I make out of TikTok through out of social media, out of the various different channels, I'm putting into a separate account that I'm going to spend on a van. I'm going to buy a van.
Is this going to be your traveling? Is it going to have Dad Dancer on the side?
So you have your face.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
exactly. Like the Mystery Machine. Like the Mystery Machine, but no. The idea is to buy a van and convert it into a camper. Because I think not only is that something I've wanted to do for a huge amount of time, it all the way through. It's content that can go alongside of the stuff that I already do.
I watch those kind of things sometimes.
My FYP is just full of them. Because I just watch loads and loads.
This is another example of an algorithm telling you how to run your life.
100%.
Telling us what to do next.
I'm quite willing to go along with that Chinese computer that is telling me to buy a van.
Actually, so based on
and he's going to pay for it.
Based on Emma's comment, I'd like to get a ghostly voice. Liz, is it all right if I monetize prating about on the internet? There you go.
There you go. I hope the mic picked that up. I'm sure it did. There you go. That's dreams are coming true here, Baz. We just said that's what we want to do.
And I am looking for a woman who will allow such a stupid thing.
I love the fact that you don't have a girlfriend, but you can try to find one who will let you do it.
I'm already annoyed that she's angry at me for doing this. I'm already annoyed with her, to be honest. So you're starting on a back foot.
Can't believe the girlfriend I've not got yet won't let me do what these two are allowed to do. Jess is asking if we can meet Liz.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard that. There was a voice echoing from the kitchen, which was doubtful. So there we go.
So you could be the ghostly internet voice.
So Cornish Boyo is saying that it's buffering really badly. Is that the internet just in Cornwall? Does he need to pedal faster?
Does anybody else get buffering?
Anyone else?
Oh, I'm sure it's fine.
I paid the bill and everything.
Oh, come on. We're cable. We're not even wireless. We're wired tonight.
There's literally a cable hanging out of my loft hatch.
There's a friendly dangerous wire.
That sounds like the worst euphemism I've ever heard.
It's a wire.
I've got to go to the doctor because there's a cable hanging out of my loft hatch. And it's giving me such grief.
Yeah, such a poor signal.
Oh wow!
Oh, look at that! I say look at that. There you go. There was a hand. That was Liz.
Also, we haven't had any of these.
Oh, come on, live review time.
So Liz made us some brownies. This is a new recipe. So we're the first.
Liz has made us some brownies.
Nice,
go on in, Joshua.
Thank you very much.
Right, we're going to try these. Oh, they stuck to the plate. That's a good sign.
Ooh.
So they're talking for 20 minutes.
Right, here we go. Yeah, maybe we should do them one at a time so that at least one of us can. And we're not just eating on the podcast.
No, it's good. It's really good. It's very good. It's amazing. Yeah, they're like gooey. They're a little bit gooey. I like
Okay, everybody else is saying that the picture's good.
Oh.
So I'm gonna have to wait until these two are finished. Because like I say, otherwise it's just it's just three. Like I say, the premise of the podcast is just us having a drink in the pub, but us just eating brownies. I don't think we'll.
I feel like MasterChef.
We're having more than one. Oh, we're having 3 people ask if they're special brownies.
No, they're not hash brownies.
Oh.
Sad occurrence, but.
Oh, it's revolting.
No, good.
Try again. See what you think.
I might have to try another couple.
They're really, really good. I love brownies so much.
It must be really weird though watching people eat online while we're going. It's really good.
It's a thing. You know the name of it. I keep forgetting it.
Oh.
Someone will tell us what the name of it is. What's the name of it? Where people just eat on the. Do you know what? I'm going to do reverse ASMR.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
I'm pretty sure that sounded horrendous.
I'm pretty sure you'll play that back tomorrow and go. Ooh,
yeah.
Ooh.
Mate, give us the.
It's really hard to describe a brownie because people know what brownie tastes like, but that's a good brownie.
Brown.
It's like a good brownie.
It's a good brownie. Mate, stop.
She doesn't mean stop. I think Jess enjoyed that a little bit too much. Is that mine?
Yeah, I was just saying, I've ended it with half a can of
He just picked up a can of Stella that he wasn't drinking.
I was out of the bottle.
Look, there we go.
I think it might be your original one.
Oh,
what?
really?
I think it was mine. I lost one at some point.
There's plenty
but
here.
Martin said that was disgusting. Martin's just bitter about the football.
I think he probably is. I told you to get the bits of stuff.
Well, I want to finish the podcast now so I can download it and listen to that. Does anyone mind? Right. Thanks, everybody. That's enough for tonight. What's it? There's some even more interesting noise. It sounded like a barnyard.
That was a good bit. Stop. It's not going to get
Stop. I want to watch it. It's not fair that they get to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it as well.
Can you download that section and just put it as a 15-second video? Of
no,
you
I think I might do. Reverse ASMR. ASMR is supposed to be like soothing and that's and I might maybe I'll do a series of TikToks.
So I take it the A is
like
audio.
Reverse.
What's the three? What was ASMR? Audio stimulation.
No, I've got nothing. And the worst thing is that I moved that bloody thing because it looked as though it was coming out of my head, and now it looks like it's you moved. I need to move back in.
Hold on.
Come on, get rid of it. Get rid of it.
It's kind of cool though. I like that thing.
It comes in 2 bits.
Oh, there's a brain inside.
There is a brain.
That looks like Mickey Mouse ears now. You need to move.
Brain inside these
No,
things.
There you go.
Let's do it properly. Let's bring it up, like literally here.
Oh, there we go. It could be the 4th co-host for the evening.
Nice little tash. Why must they all be bearded? Everyone who comes on this podcast must have some form of
facial hair.
So it's got brain inside it.
I know, mind of a matter. I like it.
Anyway, let's put that bit.
Very good. Right. Anybody else get any more questions? I enjoyed that. That was good. That was a very good question. That got us.
Very good question.
ASMR. Okay. The feedback is that the ASMR section might not become a regular.
Okay.
I don't know how
feature
to break
on the
into
podcast.
The ASMR world. Occasionally, people say to me like the clicking of like a lot of what I do is clicky, even if it's just a game. Like, clicky, but I don't know how to break into the ASMR.
Wasn't the original ASMR the what's it called, bubble wrap?
Is it bubble wrap?
I'm pretty sure that was where it sort of, like the whole thing started because people really like that thing, don't they?
Adam's just put ASMR question mark. It's too long a thing for us to explain.
Yeah, it's not like
it's just like,
it's not like A2M.
But does it give you shivers? Does it give you shivers though?
People whispering and stuff.
It's quiet,
soothing,
intense noises, but it can even be something like biting into chicken or something. I find it a bit weird. But then Some people really
or eating a brownie close up.
Yeah,
or eating a brownie incredibly close.
I just feel that Adam's put that on there because it's like, you know, those acronyms like A to M and stuff like that.
There you go. Stop it.
Well, hey, we're on a podcast. We can do what the fuck we like.
Adam said, "Is that whispering crap?" Yeah, absolutely.
When whispers to you really close.
You get people like run their hands over a brush or
but it is the whispering. Have you seen the one who pretends to be an airline hostess?
No.
There's a woman who dresses up as an airline hostess.
He likes that.
I've seen the video.
Wait a minute. Just let me double check if this is definitely TikTok. Yes, it is. I thought it might be another specialist website. No, she kind of sits there and she's kind of like in a full like air hostess, and she does the ASMR whispering, but she's kind of jumping up and down. And she's going, "There's a little bit of turbulence."
Does she have does she have boobs?
Does she have boobs?
The bounce.
She does.
They usually have boobs.
No, the bounce. It's a whole sentence.
I wouldn't notice anything like that, Baz. You know me better. You know me better than that.
Where's Emsned?
I don't know. Let me just check if she's still on.
Right.
Oh, hey, I've made us full screen. I didn't mean to do that.
Is that what we look like?
That's not what I meant to do.
Oh, I look really pale. I look like I'm going to pass out any minute, don't I?
I can't tell it. Yeah, decking painting is exactly that's ASMR. Maybe I should just like give up trying to be funny and just
brush things.
And just because loads of people just kept saying, "Oh, post more hacks, but we like this and all that." You know, brush your deck in a different way. Well, and actually,
what kind of abuse is this? Heckling is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, actually, Larry has chewed the controversial ridges of my decking, so I am going to need to paint it again. So hey, maybe I'll do it a different color.
That's Joshua's such a regular person on him now. Like, so my constant contribution is Chico, yours is the decking. You don't seem to have a person or a sort of famous, other than Shut the Box, Drew's Cube.
I do. I'm lucky enough, as has come up, that I've dealt with lots of celebrities and things in my life.
Yeah.
The thing I mostly end up talking about is the Rubik's Cube. And the reason I don't talk about it is because someone ultimately always brings it up. And I basically just leave it as long as possible now because I talk about it all day, every day. I love you, Rubik's. I'm so glad to work for you. But I talk about it all day, absolutely every day. So I actually just leave it as long as possible. But that is my thing. Like, I can feel a Rubik's Cube. I can like the floating three. I have a Joshua 3. I like the idea of it. It's a cube that just follows me around. So I try. That's my main thing. Whereas I feel like you can't wait to watch Chico, and I love Chico too. So I'm listening to hear about it.
That was the other. That was the other result.
33 minutes in between Chico's. That was.
Sorry, Chico. He's not even dead.
Of course he's not. You'd be at the funeral.
Look, something like that. That's like Chico's upstairs, like a shallow grave.
What if he
He's drilling holes through the ceiling.
What if he turns up at Windsor this week? That'd be amazing.
If he turns up tomorrow at Windsor, I don't know what we're gonna do.
Well, I've sent him a ticket.
You sent him a ticket. Oh my God, I really believe you would as well.
Chico, your biggest fan. I'm sorry.
Do you think if he knew where Chico lived, he'd be here now? He'd be outside Chico's house.
I'd be in the other window, but outside, like getting arrested by somebody. So yeah, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, Rosie's. Rosie. The irony of the fact that if the ridges were down, like the Aussies, like part of Australia said that my dog couldn't have chewed them, is that irony isn't lost on me.
But I don't know why the ridges should be. It doesn't look
it's
right.
definitely not a conversation we want to get into.
I don't really get it enough.
No.
That's crazy.
But it's to create airflow between the joists and the decking boards.
Oh, hang on, look, suddenly got 800 viewers.
Yeah. It's not F1. Who cares?
To stop your decking boards rotting. And my point was, well, my mum's had a deck for 20 years and that hasn't happened yet. So anyway, okay, Jill has said pet peeves.
Oh, blimey.
I'm sure there is infinite.
I'll go first for this. Like, I don't really have any. No, I genuinely don't.
Nothing annoys you.
Well, not you describe as a pet peeve. Like, so, all right. One thing that annoys me are people that drive in the middle lane of the motorway.
There you go.
That's probably my pet peeve. But that's if no one's doing it, I don't think about it. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's one of those little weird things that, like, I don't really. But the rest of my life, nothing.
I'm surprised that irritates you because everybody will be driving past you because you drive like a grandmother.
Well, no, but I undertake people. So when the traffic slows down,
you don't as if you don't drive faster than anyone.
I have my own lane. So the M1's got the hard shoulder now, so you get the fourth lane. Quite often, when you get into the where they put the speed limit up on there, I undertake everybody. I've literally done at least 7 or 8 miles. I've overtaken everybody on the inside lane, still within the speed limit, because no one else is on it. I love it. So it's like having your own private lane. What's your pet peeve? Is it people who talk about people who drive in the middle lane?
No, I'm going to steal Jesse. Dick pics. Dick pics really annoy me.
Dick pics always got to, have they?
Yeah.
They've been a regular occurrence.
Usually,
if you don't want dick pics, you don't get them.
I'm going to just getting his phone out. I'm terrified right now. No. I'm literally terrified right now. But I don't want to see it.
No. I've got a load of dick pics.
I don't care if it looks bigger on camera. It's not what I want to see.
You have to hold it.
No, but do you know what? Never sent one, never received one. So I'm only joking. So
I've sent one to myself.
So I don't know. What's your pet peeve?
One of the main things is slow tourists, and that is directly because I spent a great deal of my life working in just next to Leicester Square Station and just next to Piccadilly Circus Station, which, if you don't know, are seconds from each other. And if you're trying to get from one to the other, you have the option of go underground and go along and pay for it, or battle your way through a series of tourists who couldn't care less about what's going on in your life. And I can't stand the slow walking tourists. If you're from London, you will absolutely understand exactly. And pigeons qualify as tourists, essentially, for me, in that situation. They're in the way and they're acting identically.
They could be residents.
They don't feel like they're residential. I'm not okay with them. So yeah, I think that's just very much a London thing, isn't it? Really, that's just a slow tourists and my enemy. So in fact, right now you can get around quite easily. It's changed. They're mostly just. It's changed
because there's not many tourists.
Yeah, I do miss I miss the life possibly, but at least I can get somewhere. Quickly. Not that I work there anymore because I can't, but there we go.
Okay, yeah, I've just thought of one, which is a semi-sensible one. Just fitness professionals on the internet.
Oh yeah,
good one.
Because they all talk about different things, don't they?
I am a fitness professional and I am on the internet, and if somebody says, what's the best way to do this? You go, it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
What's the best exercise to do for this? The one that you'll keep up. What's the best diet to do? The one you'll keep up. What's the best? It's completely different for everyone. Fitness professionals who go on and say, and they think they can only make themselves look good by tearing down other people.
Oh,
it just pisses me off. And you just think I was like, oh, well, this guy says this. That's bullshit. That's not the way you do it. You do it this way. No, it works different for everyone.
The classic one is the guy who's always not wearing a shirt and he's got the flat top. You know the guy who appears, he's on literally every advert.
There's hundreds like that.
But he's the one he's the most paid.
That's a really good pet peeve though, because that irritates.
They do me.
Influencers who also then transition into that. You know, have you ever had that? Like, if so.
Transitions.
The transitions are great. Influencers who then all of a sudden go, oh, I've got some followers now, I should probably look a bit more beautiful. And they think, hang on a minute, my content can just completely be about how I've transformed my body now, and I can just show you my body. So, and that irritates me too in the exact same way.
Oh, here we go. I found all my dick pics.
Hold on. Yeah.
Dick Pound.
Oh, there you go. He's got pictures of people called Dick.
That was the
Dick Pole was my favourite.
There you go. That's the that's
Dick Van Dyke.
That's the twist.
That was worth the wait, surely.
Yeah, it was. Somebody said hello. Hello. Somebody said hello, guys. I think you're called Eduardo, but I can't pronounce the rest of it. But hello. You're very welcome. Jess says, one of her pet peeves are people who complain and shout and whinge to companies. For years in customer services, just talk to me. Tell me what's wrong and I'll sort it. Absolutely. Ooh. But yeah, people think that you have to.
The bad customer service in general kicks me right off immediately. And I having being someone who used to like be subservient and sell and constantly selling programs and suites and all sorts of stuff, I did want to transition to a point where if they don't give me the service that I expect, I kick off a bit too much. And I probably shouldn't, but I'm just so reactive to that.
Just disappointed by my dick pics.
All right.
You could actually have your New Zealand deck pics, couldn't you, for yours?
Yeah. Fit families. That's a pet peeve.
Yeah, Adam said gym freaks and fit families.
Oh, not sure about that.
No, I'm not joining in with that one. People who go to the gym and people who go to the gym a lot and are really into it, I don't mind at all. But it's people, like I said, that for me it was
slightly condescending people.
Oh, it's just like people who just think they can't do that. You can't build a successful online fitness business without tearing people down. People think you can't build a successful online fitness business by just encouraging people and being good at what you do and making people feel good about themselves and so like it's like and it's when somebody goes like, oh, I'm on Slimming World, Slimming World's shit. Slimming World's not shit. It wouldn't work for me. It wouldn't work for another person, but it definitely works for some people. And it's like, oh, this is shit. That doesn't work. It's like, well, it didn't work for you.
Well, that's like saying MyFitnessPal is shit.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, and it works like so well for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, yeah, you get to the thing saying it works for you. So some people, Weight Watchers is perfect because it's easy to follow, right? A lot of other people go, oh, that's bollocks because you need to do calorie deficit. Weight Watchers is officially a calorie deficit, right?
Everything's got their own.
Everything's calorie deficit.
yeah.
Literally everything is calorie deficit. That's how it works.
Actually, that gets back to Joe Wicks because for ages he got chased on the internet for refusing to say calorie deficit. And yeah,
but yeah, it doesn't matter what you do. It's different ways of getting people to a calorie deficit, and that's all it is.
So eat less, move more.
Exactly.
Simple.
People who wear hoodies in hot weather.
Oh, not sure about that.
I just think they're idiots. I wear a lot of hoodies, but not when it's hot.
Yeah, but people get to the thing again. People are different, so some people might not be as hot as you are. Which is clear.
Hey, we're back to my eyes.
Do you want to see my dick pics?
We're back to my eyes.
I've already shown you with dick pics.
How do I open this bottle?
Oh, so this is a really nice
magical device behind it. That would make some sense.
Oh, so, yeah, but it's a really good
right.
one.
Next question,
nice
guys. Let's have another one.
It's ergonomic.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's see if I can say.
This is it. This is how it goes. It's just a simple twist in this metal.
But it's really effective.
It's really easy too.
Never fails.
Really easy.
Oh, just what you're looking for. Has anyone else got one of those?
That looks like one of the things that holds your curtain
pole.
Yeah,
I think you could double
Has anybody else got one of those those corkscrews that you clamp together and you wind it down with the handle?
Yeah.
They're brilliant, aren't they?
Magic.
Whoever designed that
magic
was genius.
The best thing is doing that and making it sheer.
Oh no! I meant the ones with the handle you clamp like that. And then
right, yeah.
The posh one, and then you reverse handles to pop the cork off.
No.
Wait, what?
No.
Get it. What's he talking about?
Are we going to have to open a bottle of wine to demonstrate? Shit!
This man needs to get up at 4:30.
There you go.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
So yeah, just back onto dick pics. Jimmy says dick pics annoy him because the camera doesn't have a big enough zoom. So
comes a very big
box. Shame. Bloody hell.
Wow, this is some.
Have you been sponsored on the sly?
No, I haven't. Yeah. Baz has secretly been mentioned money out of his book.
Oh yeah, Baz is
speaking the money parts.
So it comes with this, which is the thing for cutting the foil.
Okay.
So you clamp it around and spin it.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's this. What you do is you lift it up like that. You clamp the bottle like that. And just turn the handle over.
What?
Right.
And then what you do, pull the handle back, and the cork comes out.
And that's it.
That's it. It's so.
So you don't need to twist.
No, there's nothing. Yeah, it's literally.
But how does it even?
So you clamp on to the neck of the bottle like this. Imagine there's a cork in there. And then you push it down like that, and it goes into the cork. Then you pull it back up. It pulls the cork out because it doesn't twist.
Wow.
Job done.
That is.
And then to get the cork off, you do that, and it twists it out, and the cork comes off.
Fancy.
Nice, isn't it?
Engineering. How did it take
but can you make it look like it's cheering?
Yeah, that's true.
No,
that's true.
No, exactly. So it's not as good.
It does look like I don't know. Anyway, that's the goal.
You live in luxury now.
Jess just said Joshua's getting fascinated with gadgets. You spotted that, did you?
Yeah, I do get sorry. I've encouraged this. I was like, oh, what's that?
But how good is that though? So you've got the foil on there, you have to peel it off.
I've seen them. I've seen them. It's the other thing.
It's got a neat little stand as well.
It's got a stand.
He's definitely been sponsored, and he's shoehorned it into the podcast without telling me. 2
weeks' time, you'll be well up for this.
I know. Yeah, look at this.
Wow.
There you go.
Can you see that?
Would be
you can see
rough.
that.
It is pretty awesome.
It is.
I kind of want one, really.
Right then, next one. Next question. Oh, apparently it's got a bottle opener at the other end.
Have a look at it. Has it got a bottle opener? Has it got like a... Has it got a thing on it? Doesn't look like it.
No.
No, not
sorry.
this one.
This is the cheap version. Then
Well, if there's an upgrade out there
that.
somewhere, I'm no longer interested. What's the next question?
Big eyelashes was Adams.
You just like them.
Oh, is that his pet peeve?
That's a pet peeve.
Wow,
I love a bit of big eyelash.
I do, but I do like, but I just think, sticking massive ones on to go to Aldi is a bit.
Okay, absolutely. And joggers, for example, that are dressed up purely because they're jogging.
Yeah.
And put on big eyelashes. Yeah, absolutely. But I know. Pretty cool, like, in general.
Where do I get the hats? From anywhere that's out. People often ask me people say, where do you buy your clothes? And the simple answer is literally everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like literally everywhere.
Clothes shop.
Yeah.
Do you buy things online less than in person though? Like,
no, I bought more online in the last year, but I don't buy things from like one shop only or one brand. Unless ASOS are watching, which I'd then probably have mostly from ASOS if you're interested in having me wear your clothes. Just
it's amazing how often we plug ourselves.
Joshua, how would you like to be the permanent sidekick? There might be a vacancy pretty soon. He keeps trying to make money out of this podcast and cutting me out of the deal. This is not happening. All he's done today is say he wants to bloody monetize, and then he's come on with something that I'm pretty sure he's been paid to bring on to the podcast.
I point out?
And now he's trying to plug another company to
in the Royal Box at Windsor. I was wearing a Snaffling Pig company hat.
He was. And nobody saw it.
Hang on.
I don't understand any of the words that just happened. What pig?
Snaffling Pig.
So this is a video of me in the Royal Box at Windsor.
It's the company that we had sponsored the podcast a few weeks ago.
So that's the
all right. We're gonna. So
this is fascinating, isn't it?
No, I'm just showing you the hat.
I know.
It's a good hat.
Maybe
tomorrow we will
there's people over here.
Oh, sorry.
Did you remember, Baz?
We're in a pub. Well, these guys don't see everything that people do in the pub, right?
Okay. What posters did you have as a teen?
Oh, can I go first?
Yes.
Unusually. And this is quite bizarre. I don't remember.
I bet it was in black and white.
No, it wasn't. It was kind of. So
he's lying. They didn't do colour photography when Baz was a teen.
It was etched in stone.
It was hieroglyphics.
So weirdly, Mark Bolan was my poster in my bedroom.
Oh,
T-Rex.
Yeah.
Which is I don't understand why, because I think it was that early that I wasn't probably into girls at that point. But but yeah, my Mark Bolan was my poster in my bedroom, which I just like the image of him. You know, he's don't you?
Yeah. I'd say my posters are incredibly geeky.
Go on.
Incredibly. And also, I would have been a bit embarrassed of having a big girl picture. I would have just been embarrassed by it. Like from anyone, from my brothers to my parents, everything. Anyone who came over, I would have been like, yeah, I think she's kind of pretty. I just wouldn't want to explain it. So all of my posters were things like keep calm and use the force. They were really like we're talking
so
that
much younger than us, aren't you?
Yeah, because Keep Calm was out back then.
Yeah.
So that was probably almost like
1994.
16. And also, I would have had I remember I had a Harry Potter 1 poster. So the Harry Potter first film,
16,
Harry Potter.
13 years ago. Are you 29?
Yeah, I'm 29. Well done. That was good.
So was that when Keep Calm was out 13 years ago?
No, that would have been more like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I think 10. Maybe, but maybe before. For it to become, it literally remember it was everywhere, everywhere.
What's the most famous one? Keep Calm and Carry On.
Yeah, it's just a classic.
Well, that was the original one.
And then obviously Star Wars rebranded it, and they've got a Star Wars logo, and that was on my wall for years. And I actually used that to calm my teenage brain. So I'd be like furious or something. I'd be like, keep calm, use the force. And actually, I still use that sometimes.
So,
do you genuinely think you're Jedi?
I think I'm. Yes, I do. I do.
Do you identify as a Jedi? Is that your pronoun? I'm Jedi.
On the census, I considered it.
Moving on to the big cheese. What was your poster? Don't say it was big cheese. That'd be really weird.
No, it was Edam. Yeah,
your own very merchandise that you created, I imagine.
Yeah. No, it's poster. It's like back in the day. It was the ones I can remember. Is like there was. It used to. It was the exact opposite of Joshua. It was just girls who were quite pretty at the time. So it would be it would have been the era I'm talking about would be Belinda Carlisle, Debbie Gibson, Tiffany.
Oh, all singers.
Yeah.
Not glamour.
No, yeah, I didn't put like a glamour picture up on the wall.
Well, no,
my mum would come in.
Yeah, but so
that and a Lamborghini Countach.
Yeah, but back in the cars were big. But back in the day, say Sam Fox was a massive poster.
I definitely wouldn't have got away with putting Sam Fox on my wall.
Yeah, but they were the two like poster people at the time.
Yeah, no, it was like
that the girl with putting up her tennis skirt when she was.
Yeah,
my dad had that.
Yeah.
My dad had that in his bedroom, which was a bit weird. It was a calendar.
No,
it was like pulling up a skirt looking for tennis balls.
Athena, that was all Athena, wasn't it? Yeah,
it's quite an epic one. Oh, this is a good one. Sorry, this is a good one. I know the answer to this for Joshua.
I can't read that. What's his name?
Yeah.
Have any of you been recognised from TikTok in public? Best stories if you have.
I have been, but about 5 times ish, about 5 or 6 times.
5 times.
I think it's 5 times to be accurate. I think, but generally only by like mostly people who seem a bit who about my age. Guys are like, are you Joshua cute? And they're really sweet about it. Like, oh, I really like this.
They're still amazing.
They're so sweet.
Still amazing.
It actually like completely tells me the demographic I play with, and I actually quite like that.
Yeah.
I like that it's kind of like, oh, cool, you're a bit of a geek like me, and you kind of you identify with that. But so I think it's not. I haven't been recognized a lot of times, and never by like
5 is a lot.
5 is a lot.
I'm in London though, and
it's 5 more than me.
I don't hide. Yeah, but you're in Ireland, and you're in Ireland.
I'm in Ireland, and 3% of my followers are in Ireland.
Exactly, and your followers are not necessarily from here. Like quite like.
Yours are all American.
I assumed you were. I really did assume, like you said before, that you were American.
A lot of people do, yeah.
As an image, it just felt like it was likely. I don't know what.
Well, it was just like that.
I don't know. Yeah.
We did the podcast with Johan, and I decided to wear kind of dungarees and a trucker cap because I thought we want to look manly next to Johan. And then I thought, oh God, it's just like an American.
You just look like you've got
redneck.
You just like you've got in from doing an oil change
down a tree, or trying to fix a carburetor.
There you go. But no, I haven't, and I really want to. Not for me, but I really want to because I want, but only if Molly's there. Because it would because if Shay was there,
there's nothing. You want to be alone.
If Shay was there, he'd think it was really cool. If Molly was there, she would be creased with embarrassment.
Okay, she just died.
She would just be like, "Oh my God, this is horrendous." So that's what that's the only reason I want to. But you know what I do like about it is because Emma in what she does. She's well known in what she does. I'm not going to go into what she does, but anyway, she's well known in what. So she's like a celebrity in that sphere. And I like the fact that, but when she goes down to the co-op, no one gives a shit who she is. And I quite like that you can kind of step in and out of it.
Yeah.
So I quite like that kind of some people know who I am in this little bubble.
Yeah.
But most of the time people don't know or care who I am. And I quite like that. Because I think if you were proper, I can't think of much worse than being proper famous.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people.
Well, you would just think, I'm pissed. I saw a video of Justin Bieber.
Yeah, the same one. When he
Justin
gets
Bieber.
Actually, that's a good video. I'm really glad he put it. Like, this is what it is.
He'd come back and someone was stood outside his bar. And it just looked, can you just go somewhere else? Because this is where I live. This is where I come for. For solace, and this is where I come for. This is my downtime. So I really don't appreciate you being right outside my house.
Catch me anywhere else, but yeah. And then at the end of the videos, you go, "Can I have a hug?"
I just going down and go, "You fucking listening?" All the stuff I just said.
The interesting about that is the comments are split. So some of the comments say, "This is what you asked for when you became famous." And that's no. So I completely disagree with that because like your job is something you do during the day, and then you are allowed to finish that job and go home. So all of us here at some point have had a job where we go home and no one bothers you. Yes, people can call you related to, but yeah, I like that.
All of us here at some point had a job.
Yeah,
you could have ended the sentence there. But only one of us still does.
But the point is people that interact with you in that job who are the end of the service. They don't contact you home to go like, oh, Yeah, like, I know you work at Kellogg's, but can you let me know when I can do this? Like you go home to finish work, don't you? Yeah, and I think as a movie star and a pop star, you're allowed to finish work, aren't you?
Yeah, you didn't. What you're saying? Are you saying to him, well, you should have chosen to be unsuccessful then, so I didn't follow you.
Yeah.
What do you mean he chose? What? No, he showed his best work, and you became obsessed, and you wouldn't leave him alone. I think it's okay to hound him at other places. I get that is the industry.
The only thing about that
at home, I think he's absolutely right.
The only thing about the video that I thought was weird was how he was walking and he was wearing a prison outfit. But apart from that,
yeah, I mean, but that's where he's currently at in terms of style.
And he looks like he's gone to a fancy dress party as Chris Kamara.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? With his moustache.
He's become.
I'm not feeling Justin Bieber's moustache. Let's have it here.
It is a little bit.
I'd just like to say this on the thing about Justin Bieber as well. It's like he used to get so much derision about like being blah blah blah. He's actually, if you've ever seen him sing live, he can perform.
He's good.
Yeah.
I think it's good. He convinced me in 2016 with the song "What Do You Mean."
Yes.
Actually, he's quite.
But he became famous by playing and singing himself. Didn't he become famous originally on YouTube?
No, it was kind of Usher that discovered him and sort of like.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was like him playing the piano and singing.
Yeah.
And
really?
he got found, and then
it was Usher that sort of like.
Yeah, so he's obviously a decent musician. You don't.
Anyway, this took a different direction.
Bieber fan club.
We are believers. We're all believers.
So in summary, none of us have a problem with Justin Bieber, apart from his Chris Kamara moustache
and his orange tracksuit. Orange tracksuit.
Yeah. All right, come on. There we go. I think we've.
Wasn't you that they were saying,
I think we've
when
done
someone
that.
asked you, "Are you a believer?" and you were like, "Was it you?"
Yeah.
And you were like, "I suppose I am."
Yeah.
You weirdly came out as a believer.
I didn't think he was, but then I saw his face.
Hold on. That deserves one of these.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Definitely should do stand up. If I'd have done that in stand up, literally everybody would have walked out. This guy's shit. I'm going back to the bar.
Oh, I like that.
I think we should do a TikTok stand up.
Yeah, definitely.
Go and do an awful 5-minute segment.
Definitely. Right. A couple more here. Adam's saying, how old are we? That'll be quick.
Oh, should we have guesses? A lot of people know.
A lot of people know our ages, I think. When his was just mentioned.
It's funny enough, I was watching, I probably missed it. So.
I'll go last.
I was born in 1967.
That wasn't the question. How old are you?
Yeah.
Is that your way of answering?
It wasn't a maths question.
I put my little twist on it.
It wasn't a maths question.
Like the quiz questions, you don't. Yeah.
So basically, when Baz was born, we hadn't even got to the moon.
But there was loads of other things that happened. Yeah, I know. I once went out with a girl like years ago who once said, "Oh, I wish I'd been born in the '60s." And I was like, "Oh God." She was much younger than me.
No. People shouldn't wish they were born in the '60s, because if you were born in the '60s, you were a kid in the '60s. If you wanted to experience the '60s, you need to be born in the '50s. Yeah. I went through a phase when I was at high school, I think. And where I was really into kind of 50s music. I don't mean like really, not in a cool way. Just I used to listen to like, kind of
rock and roll.
Yeah, it was just like 50s rock and roll and stuff. And I was like, oh, I wish I'd been born in the 40s so I could have experienced. No, I don't. But
you had Ricketts, so
yeah, exactly. And I'd have been at work when I was 14. I'd have been working on a farm when I was 14.
I was pleased to be born in the 60s so that I could live the 80s, because the 80s I thought was a good time. It was still sort of innocent.
I do feel like the 80s is what I missed. And if I wasn't going to be born, if I wasn't going to be able to experience the 80s as like a 19-year-old, like whatever, and I'm glad I'm now. I'm happy to miss the 90s and the 10s.
When I was in the 80s, I thought it was shit. But it's only kind of looking back with the kind of rose-tinted
retrospectively
and dewy-eyed. Oh, when the 80s go. I remember in the 90s going, oh, like music in the 60s was amazing, 70s was amazing and quirky. 80s music shit. But then now you look back at it, it's like, no, actually, 80s music was really cool. But it's I remember being when I was in it.
It was Manchester. That
was
an explosion. It was superb.
No, I know.
Yeah, it's a decade.
Yeah. So, Rob's saying, what's your favourite car? Let's do two different ones. What's your favorite car? Let's do what's your favorite car when you were a kid? When you were a kid or when you were younger, what car did you always want? We'll do what's your favorite car now, if you could have any car you want. And what's the favorite car you've ever owned?
Okay.
So 3.
Well, I think I would go first with Galway, the boring person that I am. I am so anti-masculine. I couldn't care less, really. But I would say that I like Jaguars. When I was a kid, I used to be really into Jaguars. I think it's because my dad had like an XJ8. I don't know what it's called. A nice car, a nice Jaguar. I thought it was beautiful, but actually, we were always looking at the idea of an older version of that, like more of a classic version. So at that time, but if I had to drive now, and the reason I've never learned to drive is because I worked in theatre for so long that I never justified the movement into it because I work in central London. But if I had to get one now, I would pretty much, you can hate me for this, I'd get like a little smart car or something. You can just nip around like a go-kart and disappear. And I would have thought that, but because that's me imagining like trying to get around a little city. Because that is where I will always dwell, I think. But there you go. You can hit me now after that.
No. But also he said I don't drive. So
I could care less.
It means
but
that
if I had to,
it's not the.
I would consider how quickly can I get a little car that I can just park in.
Let's go back to the
when you
were a kid. When you were a kid, what did you want?
I wanted obviously your world's much smaller, so you don't have this whole the most supercar at the time. I was really, really, really into Capris when I was younger because the professionals. Or the other one was
Capri gear, as Delvin calls it.
Or the other one was the Starsky and Hutch car.
Oh yes, the red one with the white flash.
Because they were famous cars, right?
I can't remember what it was.
It was
General Lee was my version of that,
which would be the same thing. Because they are.
General Lee was my version.
Got a DeLorean. Sorry, I've just completely changed my mind.
Yeah.
DeLoreans were actually really shit.
They
the company.
No,
they were
orange.
Northern Ireland.
and
they were really shit, and they just fell to bits, but because they were in that, because they were in that.
But also they had those gold wing doors.
I mean, that's the way, and that's why people want a Tesla because they've got silly doors. But no, when I was a kid, mine was, I said it before, it was Lamborghini Countach.
Countach,
Countach, however you pronounce it. But it was just like that was just. And again, that is, I think
that doors that went like that, didn't it?
I think I've seen one of the Top Gear fellas say, "Oh, I've always wanted to drive this," and they drive it and go, "Oh, I wish I hadn't."
I heard that as well because basically the brakes are hard that they had a steel bar in the passenger well so people because you'd slide off your seat because it was so hard.
So
doesn't matter, does it?
What was the other one? What would you have now?
Oh, what do you have now? So my favourite. Has anyone seen the Expendables? Is it the Expendables?
I think probably the first one.
That's the one with all the
with like Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, so the truck he drives in that is a Ford. I think it's an F40. Yes, it's a really old style truck. So I'm more into trucks on it. I'd probably have a truck over having any kind of supercar because it's just kind of me, really.
So he is American.
You are, you're so American.
Yeah, but
you'd love a monster truck rally, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but
monster truck rallies.
I've been to one, years ago.
You'd be like, I did win one.
It was East Anglia Showground, so it was a bit like a shit version of it. They were basically smaller than the things you get in America, which just keep going around in circles. But I'm a kind of truck guy rather than a sort of
Night Rider.
Guy.
But everyone said Night Rider.
Night Rider, absolutely.
F400, there you go.
F400.
Yeah, that's a good decision.
Not the F400, the F400.
I like that one.
But the old school one, the original shape one, which is like he drove.
But the Night Rider is definitely Night Rider was. I remember
Hit.
I remember clear as day the new series of Night Rider starting, and no one wanted to watch it. So I was sat in the kitchen with a tiny little TV, yay big, and I was sat on a stool and just that dinning. Then that started, and I just remember, and I've got goosebumps again. Just that's such a powerful memory.
And then you have to remember
my childhood. I just thought it was incredible. But I mean, can't now. Do you know what? I mean, I've had really nice cars and kind of come out the other side and driving a much more kind of practical beast at the moment. But if I was to buy, if I would like, do you know what I really like the look of is, I think the Jaguars that are about at the minute now.
They're so varied as well. Though.
I just think, and I just think like there was one, was it an I-Pace or something? It's kind of a mid-sized one.
Yeah.
I just think for those cars can be so boring. Those kind of mid-size SUVs.
Yeah.
I think they've done a really good job with that, and I just think it looks really nice. So I saw one today. So that's how short my attention span is. I saw one of those today. So
you're literally the most current person in this podcast.
Exactly. I was just like, saw one today. I want one of them.
What was the other one? The other question?
The best one you've ever had, if you've ever owned.
Actually, well, yeah. Best car I've ever owned is probably one of the worst cars that exists. So it's not for it's a good car, but it was just so many memories in it. So you remember the Astra? You might not remember the old the original Astra shape.
Yeah.
So they made a car called a Belmont, which is an Astra with a boot, right? Yeah. I mean, it was ugly. The front was there, but it was. I bought it at a time when I didn't have a lot of money, so I got it for quite cheap. And then I used to own a Volkswagen Passat, one of those GT ones. So I found out that the wheel nut pattern was the same for a Vauxhall. So I swatched over these massive wheels that overhung the arch, and then they were so wide that they used to rub on the arch all the time. But it made this car look like really kind of quite sporty, and I used to drive like a complete cunt anyway. So I would literally just drag this around, but I drove it to Spain.
All the way to Spain.
Yeah. I literally drove it to Spain, and the car that we were with, he had a brand new Mondeo at the time. He broke down twice on the way there, and I got all the way there and back in my piece of shit. But the worst thing about it is that one of my friends about a month forward spilt a pint of milk in the back, so you can imagine it smelled like a sort of kind of off yogurt the whole time we were going over there, and it had no what's the cooling system called, air conditioning, and so you had to drive there through Spain with the windows down. So I was virtually deaf by the time I got there anyway. And I was also getting overtaken going through France by 90-year-old women who drove at 100 miles an hour in their CV, whatever it was.
So that's why he drives like he does now.
Oh, I do now, because
gets overtaken by 90-year-old women now.
Oh yeah, but I was doing 90 and they were going to 150 because it was in France. What was your?
Mine was. I had for a couple of years. I had a Bentley Continental.
Of course you did, yes.
And that sounds like a massive flex.
I've driven one. They're lovely.
Sounds like a massive flex. It wasn't new. It was like 9 or 10 years old at the time, but it was phenomenal. And I remember my daughter saying when I bought it and I dropped her off at school, she was like, "Dad, this is the first time I've ever been cool."
Wow.
Because they saw me dropping the kids off.
It's like driving a rocket-powered armchair, isn't it?
It's phenomenal. But I'll tell you, it is phenomenal. It's brilliant, and it's really, really good. But our trip computer told me that I used to take the kids to school, and we lived 6.5 miles away from. The trip computer told us that because I only really used it to take the kids to school and then go to the gym and things like that. So I used it around town.
What colour was it before we go any further?
Black.
Oh yeah, of course it was black.
But yeah, the trip computer told me that I was in my trips to take the kids to school and back. I got 12 miles to the gallon out of it. But I remember when when I first got it, I bought it a week before we went to Devon on holiday for 2 weeks, and I said to Emma, "I'm not buying a Bentley. Having it for a week, and then leaving it at home for 2 weeks."
Yeah.
So we went to Devon in 2 cars.
Oh wow!
So we stuffed loads of stuff in her car. So we put loads of. We were able to take tons of stuff because we just had me and one of the kids in my car, and Emma and Phil that, and it was brilliant. But I remember as you come off the motorway to go to the part of Devon that we go to, there's a lot of overtaking lanes.
Yeah.
And that was just brilliant because I just literally pulled out, dropped it to the floor. This roads like this, but I'm firing up there like that, and I managed to glance at the instantaneous miles per gallon thing.
Yeah, to get a
3. I was going so quickly.
So we should explain to Joshua.
I had my foot to the floor. The trip computer tells me that I'm doing 3 miles to the gallon. And if you wind down the window, you can hear polar bears cry. That's how bad it was. But yeah, I had it for a couple of years, and it was so good.
So do you drive?
No, it's bizarre, isn't it? I've never driven. I also
think I've had
a family. We grew up in pretty much London. I've had a family with three older siblings, and all of them driven. All of them had car crashes at some point in that journey. And I was in one with my mother maybe, and I just basically was like, look, I know that I'm basically really as close to the centre as I can. And you know what the truth is? My parents on my 18th birthday said, look, do you want lessons or do you want £1,000 right now? And I said, I'll take the grand.
Yeah.
And I went,
take the grand.
I'll take the grand.
So
take the grand. You know where I'm taking this cash.
He went Roman again then when he went
I'll
on
take
money
the
grabbing,
grand.
didn't he? I'll take the grand.
See, I would lay money before I met you that you would have one of those electric scooters as well to zip around on.
Yeah, and the thing is, I find them a little bit annoying. People just because they kind of come at you and
they're illegal for a start.
Yeah, and they chose, but they're still deciding about with all that. Like they're kind of pussyfooting about what to do because they know it's a market and it kind of makes sense. How can the rest of the world do it? But I agree, it's in the way. But yeah, I kind of would once it's allowed, and once it's, I probably would. Be like, well, at least I can be on the road now. And
I love the random towns which are having those the app scooters on.
Yeah, the ones that just about.
So there's a little town up the road, 60 miles away, called Rushton. And there's literally nobody lives there, but they've got these. Someone decided to do a scooter
with them.
Yeah, and they're all over the place. But I went through Windsor today, and all I saw was just like scooters lying in verges and just all over the place, just lying about in the most sort of like rural places as well. So I was working at Windsor Great Park on Tuesday, and outside the site, there's just literally one laid there because obviously.
You leave
it's
wherever
happening
you
a
want.
lot,
Yeah.
America had this resurgence like a year and a half ago, maybe, of scooters appearing everywhere, and people were making. Even South Park made a joke episode about how these scooters are breeding in their attack back because they're literally absolutely everywhere. And then you go, oh, I could just scan this thing.
We went to Oslo. Literally, they're everywhere. And there's 15 different brands, and we found out there how do you know how they work. In terms of like
they charge.
Well, yeah.
They charge?
So what happens is they're a bit like an Uber. Obviously, you can get the app and you can pay €2 for the X amount of minutes. How they're charged is there's another industry where you can sign on to be a charger.
You go and get them.
So you go and collect it. So you go and collect them at night and you charge them. You put them anywhere you like in the morning. But you make money for charging them. So when we were walking about, there's guys with
I could do that. I think I could do that.
There's guys with their phone. They go, that's the one there. So they put them in the back of the van. So they obviously work for one of the services, and they go collect them all. But they've got their app which goes, yeah, that's the one there. And so there's 5 or 6 of them different brands. Yeah, it's another industry.
Yeah, but you see, for example, if that's going to become such a big thing, then why should I learn to drive on top of where I already am at? I don't think it's about. If I accidentally had a child, for example, I might consider it.
What was the original bike in London? We called it a Boris bike, wasn't it?
Boris bike. Well, this is their Barclays bikes became Boris bike, which meant Barclays had to drop the sponsorship because they were like, nobody's saying Barclays, so we have to. But also, Boris takes every day this claim that he did it, but he was just there when it came in.
So Barcelona, it's the Santander one. So
now they're Santander. They became Santander 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, in Barcelona,
they
all these Santander ones. Yeah.
But yeah, I love those bikes. I love those bikes.
We'll take 2 more questions. Let's do 2 more questions. It's getting late, and Baz has got to be up at 3:30.
I'll be fine.
Idiot.
So as long as I get to bed by midnight, I'll be fine.
So, question, important stuff now. Favorite and least favorite smell.
Favorite smell. There's got to be one, isn't it? Because there's 2 in there.
I don't know. Go on then.
I like fresh bread.
Ooh, good one.
And I like caramel.
Ooh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, I'm all over both of those.
Yeah. So, fresh, just while you're thinking, fresh bread is one of those ones that they reckon if you're selling a house and you have people come to your house, you should bake bread. Cause
that supermarkets pump in the smell of fresh bread.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
okay, you can see that, yeah.
Not all of them, but it has been known that they pump a fresh bread smell.
But I'm guessing it's one of those things. It's a really homely thing, isn't it? So yeah. The caramel is just like as soon as you smell it, it's like I need to just have some of that.
It is really good. No, I'm all over both of those.
What's the worst smell?
They're good.
Worst smell is, and so this is by experience, is dead animal, dead rotting flesh. Because no, it's really
I'm sure it's accurate, but it's quite dark.
No, but it's
accurate.
And it's one of those things. It's like once you smell it, you know what it is. So I've done a thing where years ago I was surveying in Luton. I was kind of working downwind, and suddenly this awful smell, which almost made me retch the smell of it, and I realised I was stood in a dead deer carcass. No.
Oh my
God!
No. So it's on the floor, obviously, and it's died, but it's in really long grass. And I'm going on surveying. I just say, "What is this?" I look down, and I'm literally stood in the ribs and it's like literally disgusting. So yeah, and also once you smell it, you can recognise it forever because it's hard to describe it. It's just a putrid, horrible thing that just claws into you, grabs you by the nose and drags you. I mean, this is from somebody who's moved thousands of gallons of human excrement in my time as well. As part of the show world that I work in. So,
well, that's all we've got time for tonight.
But the smell of shit is like easy compared to that. Yeah, and once you get used to that, it's really easy as well. This is real. This is a real one.
How many bad smells can you name, Ben?
The last question for tonight is going to be: if you were American, which state would you come from? You've got to be Alabama or something like that, haven't you?
I don't know.
Any dungarees in your trucker's cap?
There's 52 states, right?
50.
50. 50? 50. Oh, yeah, we're the 51st state, aren't we? Yeah, so...
I wish I'd asked him that on quiz now. How many states are there in America?
Oh, yeah, but I would have got that because I've seen the film.
You got it wrong. 52.
Yeah, you beat me every time. It's not. This is no surprise. This is no surprise, Mike.
It's not new news.
Unless we do Alan Partridge, which was awful. It's worth noting.
Yeah, we'll definitely never do an Alan Partridge round again.
It was funny.
It was funny, but I was just watching the number of people tuned into the live just depreciate or deplete.
It's like 3 each.
Oh my god! It was
probably. I've only been to a few, so it's really
I also
difficult.
see you as an Alaskan somehow. Well, I also see you,
I think Alabama.
Alabama.
I think if he was dropped into Alabama wearing half the clothes he's got in his house, nobody'd go, "What the hell are you doing here?"
Yeah. I agree.
Well, I'll choose that one on the basis of that. Then.
No, I think so. Yeah.
What would yours be?
I don't know. I really like California, but I'm nowhere near cool enough or pretty enough to be to say that California is the one. I'm not hard enough to be New York.
New York's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. So I love. I would say California because, to be fair, there are loads of different places in California. It's quite a diverse one. Vegas. I know somebody who lives in Vegas.
Vegas.
I know somebody who lives in Vegas. I'm 46 now. If I lived in Vegas, I'd be dead by 48.
Yeah, for sure.
But she lives in Vegas, and I couldn't do it.
Well, someone who follows me on TikTok, who's actually got a blue tick, is from Vegas, and I think she still works in the casinos there. But she's got like 26,000 followers, and she's got a blue tick. So I never thought to ask her how.
She's a musician, maybe, or something.
No, there's nothing on there. On their account. Yeah.
What about you, Joshua? What state are you going to be from?
I think I've always liked Seattle, so I think it's Washington.
I think it is.
Yeah, Washington.
Yeah, it is.
I like Seattle not only because I'm a big fan of Frasier. I don't know if anyone cares about
Frasier.
I like Frasier. I used to love Frasier.
Good.
And I like the fact it rains. I like the cityness of it. I've always thought I weirdly I would visit Seattle if I was going to go to America.
Before you said Alabama, I would have chosen Maine because I used to read a lot of Stephen King stuff, and literally all of his books are based in Maine, aren't they?
Is he from there?
I think he is, yeah, but literally all of his stories are based in Maine, aren't they? But it's like you must be the most horrific. Because isn't that the most rainy state in America? Or is that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you thinking that the rain in Spain falls mainly in Maine?
Yeah.
Have you got a bit confused?
I like that.
Although where's Twilight set? Because that's supposed to be
Forks. I don't know where Forks is.
Yeah,
where Forks is.
Let's go for Maine.
Probably Washington too.
Yeah.
Or maybe Maine.
Adam the Gardener says that everyone's got a beard in Alabama, even the babies.
Yes. Yeah, well, I'm well suited there. Although my beard's quite short at the moment.
So there we go. Right then, it's that time again, people. So yes,
that's really quick.
And I was going really quick. So just so you know, next week there won't be a podcast because
season break.
Yeah, only for a week. No, the proper season break comes when I go on holiday. But when
I don't know. I bet you'd be like, "I'll do it for me."
But yeah, next week there'll be no podcast because there's football. Hopefully a very, very big night for England.
And then Josh will be the week after that because this is regular.
No. The week after that is going to be the week after that. We've got Gregor is going to come on. So So yeah, we've got to guess.
You should definitely watch that
because
like he's really interesting because he's a comedian, right?
Yeah.
He also does sort of comic singing as well, and he's very Scottish.
He's very talented. Very
so Gillian,
looking forward.
Gillian, the next one's for you.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, should be a good one. Adam's asked if we're getting breakfast. I'm not getting up at 4:30 to have breakfast with him.
No, Liz has already got.
Liz has said to us, "Do we want a continental breakfast or bacon butties?" And we've gone.
Bacon.
I think that's the way I answered it in my head, but I was more polite and said, "No, definitely bacon."
She'll probably do your pack up as well.
So yeah, no podcast next week, but the week after that we've got Gregor. Don't miss that one because it's going to be really interesting. And no quiz this week. For football reasons again, but there is on the. I can't remember. I'll have to get my diary out. I've got Kelly. Kelly's booked in.
Oh yeah.
For the 20-something quiz. And don't forget, just in case you didn't get wind of it, the podcast in Malham is going to be moved into September, probably at the weekend as well. So we'll finalise a date and we'll let you know. But it's probably going to be the third weekend in September, so it's going to be a weekend. So there's no excuses. You're not taking any time off work.
That's going to be crazy.
So
it could be massive. Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. So come and see the three of us and Kelly, and Pubman Dan and all of you guys.
Mickey.
So we're all going to be there on probably third weekend of September. So kind of pencil that weekend out. We'll firm up a date. We'll put it back on the website, and then we can all start booking tickets.
Just a super quick question: as if buy was ketchup or brown sauce?
Ooh, we ain't got time for that. We're just literally near that on the last breath of the podcast. Baz throws another question in.
I just saw it.
Anyway, so thanks everyone for being on again. Really appreciate your support. Go and follow him, Joshua Cubed, him, My Petrol Emotion, me, Dad Dancer, and I will see you in 2 weeks on the podcast. Tatty bye.
Thanks for visiting my home.
Thank you.